Leaders more than most others have to manage interruptions effectively. If you want some strategies for doing that, watch this video. So if you gain anything useful and valuable that you haven't heard of before, if it's nothing new, I'd actually love to know about that, because I want to put out stuff that's of value and new or useful to you rather than the same old stuff. That's what I strive to do. That's not only why I do a show every day, but also why I try to do a variety of topics from many different angles. Okay, so as I said, owners, managers, founding directors, executive directors, anybody at the top of an organization has to probably manage more interruptions, and how they do that really matters. And the main reason isn't just because interruptions are a pain in the ass, which of course they are, but it pretty much comes with the territory of leadership. But how you manage those has a huge thing to do with the one thing that you can never get more of, and that is time. So interruptions produce what I was going to call a cognitive refractory period, only to find the official term on the internet, at least in academic research, tends to be psychological refractory period. Now, this is basically a fancy way of saying that your brain is slowed down or distracted while it shifts cognitive gears, while it shifts its attention from one task to another after an interruption. So you're making a video like this and suddenly the phone rings. So you pick up the phone and you talk to somebody, and then you finish the call and you get off the phone, you set the phone down, you go, where was I? That's the, I still want to use the cognitive version. It sounds cooler to me. We'll just call it the PRP, or psychological refractory period. So that's the PRP. That, what was I saying? That's the PRP. Now, in some cases, it's only seconds, but oftentimes it's a lot more than that. In fact, you'll find on the internet lots of talk of that it takes you 25 minutes to get back up to sort of speed, back up to your previous productivity before an interruption. I would be very cautious about naming that number, because it's also supposedly 8 seconds for our attention span, which is completely wrong. And so many other things on the internet, even from what should be credible sources, which have literally just copied and pasted information, or just without examining the facts, put information. And these are well-respected publications, which I no longer respect, because after doing my own research, I found things like that 8-second interruption or the 8-second attention span is total nonsense, and not even based on a real study, but on based of a rumor of a study, not a study itself. So we got to watch ourselves. But here's the main thing here is, whatever that delay is, the consensus academically and in sort of now in popular culture is that a distraction causes a delay. The thing is, it doesn't just cause a delay. It isn't like 2-minute phone call, the 30-minute task is now 32 minutes. It's 2-minute phone call plus a 30-minute task now could take 40 or 50 or 60 minutes. We don't necessarily know. It's probably conditional on a lot of things. There's a lot of variables there, but the bottom line is it will take more than just the extra time of the interruption, because your brain, excuse me, itchy nose, have allergies. More than just the interruption, there is that time lag to get your brain back on track of the new task. And in the words of Elon Musk, time is the ultimate currency. Not even the world's richest men or women or anybody can get more time. You get more money, but you can't get more time. That's why it matters, and it takes longer. And, you know, that's obvious, right? But like I said, it's not so simple, because the amount of time is disproportionate usually to the existence of the interruption itself. So let's see where we are here. It's true for everyone, but it's especially valuable for leaders because their time is more valuable, in that any time you spend doing something that isn't towards your zone of genius, your best use of your time, is probably costing you a lot more money than the average person. Oh, it's so itchy. Okay. Today, I basically coined a term in my own brain, so I'm going to use them in this video, and let's call this the incompletion version of this. So incompletion means something that has been left incomplete, usually as a result of an interruption, but not always. So what I'm talking about today is essentially an extension of what I did. I did Crush It Club 125, Delegate, Do, or Document. I'll put the link here as usual, and I'll put it in the description. Now, what really motivated me to make this is I'm building my website and I'm a total rookie. I'm using user-friendly software, but there were some serious delays, especially around my domain name, which actually got, for some stupid regulation, parked for like 45 days. So I had to switch domains. As a result, because I started it and stopped it unexpectedly and didn't do what I'm going to tell you about today, it's causing me massive delays and frustration. So it's caused massive PRPs, those psychological refractory periods, a lot of frustration and motivation. It's been sort of motivation killing. And today I've done it, but these tasks recently regarding the website have been psychologically more difficult than they actually are cognitively and skill-wise. They're not that hard, but I just don't feel like I want to do them. And I'm pretty self-disciplined. So it's interesting. And I thought this was good, and that I want to help prevent this, not only for other people in my situation, but people in general, leaders in general. So here's some sort of insights I've had over the years, especially with my ADHD, which is distractible by nature and causes incompleteness quite often, where something distracts you, you run down that rabbit hole, you come back, it's like, where was I? So it could be even more exaggerated for me, but this is of something of value to everybody. And these techniques, like most, are actually better for non-ADHDers than for ADHDers, but probably more important to we ADHDers. Okay, so if you can finish a task all the way, do it. And this is especially important, at least for my brain and probably a lot of other people's brains, because what happens is if I don't complete a task, I can't get that mind share back, and it distracts me, and I have that almost feeling of doom that, oh, one more thing to do, it's not finished. And it gives me more discomfort, anxiety, but not in any way debilitating. Bottom line is it kind of sucks on my brain and sucks my attention, which is even worse. Or, as some people have suggested, and there's probably research to back it up, which I have not verified, but that some people, because it keeps that mind share, because it makes them uncomfortable that they're incomplete, some people use that as a productivity trick where they intentionally leave half of a sentence unwritten because they know they're done for the day, and they'd rather have an incomplete sentence because it will drive them and motivate them to get back to it the next day. So if that works for you, great. It does not work for me. It would actually be counterproductive and frustrating. So if those don't work for you, either of those don't work for you, you can't accomplish them, what I would suggest is finish at a meaningful milestone. That is, finish it somewhere that is cognitively, mentally, psychologically satisfying. At least I got done that landing page completely, or at least I got done that form completely. Or on the flip side, let me think about this. Finish somewhere, mainly, at least for myself, is finish somewhere where it gives you a sense of accomplishment. So you feel satisfied, like you made progress. If you finish on the south side of that, you feel like, oh, I just wanted a little more and I would have felt satisfied. At least for me, that's going to suck. If you're the flip side of this, where that will motivate you to come back tomorrow and do it better, great. know thyself. The next one is the best thing you can really do. Oh, the other thing is, if the other trick to finishing at a specific place is to get that sense of accomplishment, but the other one is do it in a way that will minimize your PRP. That is a logical place to end off, so that you don't have that psychological refractory period, so that you can go, oh yeah, I can tell from here exactly what I need to do next. So you don't have to sort of search for that end point. And that will help you. Okay, so finally, here are the two things that are even better. And this goes back to Crush It Club 125, and that is prevention. Finally, delegation and prevention are better than cure. That is, if you can prevent it, if you can delegate it so you never have to worry about this interruption, schedule things so you have the gatekeeper or whatever to prevent the interruptions, that's always a desirable thing. So if you can delegate your interruptions, or you can prevent your interruptions altogether, that's better than this. But if you are forced into a position where you can't complete something, you're interrupted by something, even if it's just fatigue and finishing for the day, finish at a place which minimizes your PRP and leaves you with a sense of accomplishment, if you're like me, or a sense of incompleteness, if that's what's going to drive your productivity and get you back on task. But understand, if you do the second, the sense of incompleteness, it may give you an extended PRP because you finish at an illogical, unnatural place, cognitively speaking. That's it for Crush It Club 130, how to manage interruptions. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.